Hey guys, and welcome back to the Zone 2 podcast, hosted by myself, Luke Hubner, and Mark Sato. But today, we aren't just Luke Hubner and Mark Sato. We're provincial champion in road racing and follow-up. So, very exciting stuff, and that's what we're talking about today. Don't know what the official title is, but yeah, we had provincials
Road
in road
provincials.
racing junior. Yeah, road racing provincials for junior category, and me and Mark came 1 and 2. There was a Saskatchewan kid that did split us, but because he's from Saskatchewan, he doesn't count in the provincial podium. So yeah, 1 and 3 on the road, but 1 and 2 in the province.
That is right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fairly successful race for the Zone 2 boys. I mean,
I think so.
obviously I would have liked to win, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but if anyone is going to win, if anyone's going to win, I would have liked to be my teammate Manu, but anyone other than him, I'm glad it's you, Luke.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, no, Luke raced a pretty good race, a perfect race, honestly. From my perspective, he was clearly the strongest in the group, and I think everyone in the group knew that from pretty early on. Well, we're going to talk a bit about our tactics leading into the race, how the race played out. But I mean, yeah, Luke definitely well-deserved win to you. So
Are you
good
really,
job.
really boosting my ego here?
That's okay. I gotta make you.
Luke,
I
you're
gotta make you over.
amazing, and
I gotta make you overconfident because next week on the track, I
that's
gotta handle
true.
my business on the track next weekend, and we'll do another podcast for that too. So don't worry,
Yeah,
guys.
what about that?
Anyway, I think we should talk about. Well, let's first talk about the course. Um,
So,
so the course it was in Mission or Hatsick,
which is like
BC.
the most middle of nowhere
It's
place.
so in the middle of
It's
nowhere.
like it's like middle of nowhere but somewhere type place.
I know. It's like for me, I live in Richmond, Metro Vancouver area. I mean, it's an hour and a half to 2 hour drive depending on traffic. It's quite far. And Luke came from the island, so it's even further. He had to come the day before. And then even people from the interior they had to come. But I mean, it was sort of put on last minute. Shout out to local ride Barry Lister for organizing it. It was initially supposed to be the weekend earlier, but there were some issues with permits. So local ride took it on last minute. So good job to them. It was a great event. Everyone that I know had lots of fun. So yeah, I mean the course. So the course is mostly flat.
Course had everything, to
Yeah,
be honest.
really everything. Mostly
Like
flat. But there was a climb, pretty major climb, which kind of so kind of destroyed my legs, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean the climb, the first kilometer or so was pretty steep, maybe like 8-9%, and then it was sort of rolling for another 2 to 3K. Um, but yeah, pretty good
yeah,
climb. Yeah.
from my perspective, everything I always break the race course into like certain zones to myself and like sections. And
Mhm.
so the race, if we think about it from the finish line to make it just simpler, because the start was a half a lap in. So if we just think about it from the finish, just makes it simpler. It started with a really long hill. It's the longest hill I've had to do in a road race, and it's about say about 5% for the first bit of it. It came it's just kind of like it was really interesting. It comes like there's two fast corners, and then it kind of like goes up. It goes up. There's a bit of a divot down, and then there's a super steep section at the end, which I believe goes up to 12% grade or 13% grade. Um, and there is a very perfect spot on this hill for a break because everyone's going to be so done from climbing because it's short, but everyone goes full out. And there's a little bump at the top which you could have broken from, which I definitely tried a lot because it goes up, there's a flat bit, and then there's another bump. And I definitely tried to break over that bump, but no one did it. Everyone kind of caught me, and then no one else counterattacked. But anyway, then after the hill, there was kind of a flatter section at the top, which kind of let you recover. It goes down. There's a few bumps where you could try and attack. There's a few bumps, and then it kind of started to go down. The down had like a few little hiccups, but It was mainly just fast downhill. I think I hit 71 in junior gears, so that was pretty good. Then they had this really sketchy corner at the bottom of the hill. So there was a wooden bridge, and then the wooden bridge had a corner right after it. So luckily, people weren't like pushing too hard and trying to push out of that corner because definitely seemed like a recipe for disaster if someone maybe slipped on that bridge or something, or if you locked your rear tire and then like just gashed it open. Or I don't know what the word is, but like cut it open with wooden splinters. Um, but yeah, it ended up being well. People kind of just slowed down for it. After that, it was kind of just flat rolling and very twisty, which kind of seemed like the perfect recipe for a breakaway because you break at the top of the hill, get big enough gap so that you descend, and then you descend, and then you come around. And if you can make a big enough gap, they can't see you because it suddenly is super twisty and you're out of sight, which is perfect to like push on the pressure because it's harder to chase if you can't see them. And then it was kind of twisty and rolly. It was kind of pretty good though. Uh, and then it goes onto a super flat section, which leads all the way back to the start finish. So to me, looking at it, I thought it was going to be the perfect course for a group for a breakaway. And I think for every other category than junior, it was.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
juniors race differently.
Yeah, I mean, Manu and I thought it was going to be a breakaway too. We reconned the course earlier in the week. We were pretty. I mean, we had a pretty solid plan. I guess we'll just go right into tactics. So the pre-race plan was to put pressure on Luke early on the climb, and which you saw Manu do on the second lap. He went to the front and just like absolutely destroyed the climb. He would go like 700 watts and then on like a slightly lower gradient would stop pedaling completely and for like 5-10 seconds, make people think he's done, and then go again. And he just kept doing that over and over again. And it put the hurt on a lot of people, including myself. But yeah, a lot of people got dropped. A lot of people, yeah, they just started hurting a lot. But Luke matched every single one, which then after the climb, Manu and I are looking at each other like, uh-oh, we're in trouble here because Luke's on a good day today. And we are like super surprised that you're able to do that because Manu is like an insanely good climber. I mean, if you look at like the local Vancouver KOMs, he's like super good on all the major climbs. So we were kind of shocked that you were able to match every single one of his attacks. So then we were like, oh, what do we do here? And then, well, what was that like from your perspective? That second lap when Manu just absolutely destroyed
Yeah.
it.
So the first time we did the hill, it was pretty casual. Like people went hard
Hmm.
on it, but it was very kept together.
Yeah,
I think I just like stuck on Liam's wheel because our friend Liam Sargent, he strikes me as a super good climber.
yeah, he
Um,
is for sure.
so I kind of stuck on his wheel and I kind of stayed on whoever junior was first because we were mixing for the with the masters at the start. So first climb, very easy. Second climb, I was gonna hit it hard myself, if anything, because I really wanted to kind of weaken people. But
Mhm.
yeah, Manu went. That was pretty brutal. That was so much fun for me though. It was so fun because it was like, I don't know, I felt really like I was in the tour, like going up one of those hill stages.
Mhm.
Because the way Manu rides is very pro. And so the way he like attacks, it really reminded me of like, I don't know,
Philippe,
Carapaz
like
or
it's very like Philippe style where he'll
yes,
like go
definitely.
super hard and then easy and then super hard again, and he just keeps repeating that. And he knows like for a lot of we have like a lot of good sprinters in our group. We had Remy, we had Parker, myself. We had like a lot of pure sprinters where it's like he was really trying to put the hurt on them. And I mean put the hurt on me a bit too, but like I feel like my I don't know. We're hoping that it would tire other people out more than me and then maybe tire you out too, Luke. But um yeah, he like rides really like surgy on the climbs and it tires the sprinters out way more than just riding a steady pace. And he always climbs like that. That's what he practices, what he trains. That's what he's super good at. Even when he's riding like up Seymour or something, he'll go up and down these over unders. And it's like It's the most painful thing when you're not a climber. For him, he's just like uh for him it's just natural, but for anyone that's not him, it's really quite painful. Like we started going and I looked down and I saw my heart rate was 210, and then I look up and Manu's going again. I'm like, come on, Manu, why do you have to do this to me? And I have to go again just to match the pace. And then yeah, I mean it was hard. That second lap was super hard.
Yeah, it was really good, and yeah, he definitely climbs really pro. It was a lot of fun to be
Mhm.
with him. I definitely, I don't know, it felt really cool,
It
especially
was
because
fun.
and it was also really early for me, and so I don't know, I was pretty fresh. If that
Mhm.
was maybe the fourth lap that he did that hard of an effort, it might have been a different story for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely did some little mind games. I don't know if they did actually anything in the long term, but I did some little mind games against Manu, um, because I knew what he thought is that like he could pass everyone on the climb,
Mhm.
especially me because I'm quite a chunky guy. And so what I did is instead of riding right on his wheel like I would normally to just do like the bare minimum to stay with them, I rode beside him up it, or like not the whole thing but like near the top. I was riding beside him and I only stopped going hard once he did, so then that way I was the first person to roll across the hill, not him. And
Yeah, I mean after the climb, Manu and I were talking on the flat bit and the descent. We're like, uh-oh, we're in trouble now. Cause like we were really expecting on that climb that he would be able to shake
gap.
you or at least like show some kind of weakness in you. And that just wasn't the case. It showed weakness in pretty much everybody else. But I mean, yeah, we were really shocked by that. So kudos to you. Let's move on from the second lap. Third lap. Yeah, the
I don't even
climb.
remember.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
third lap, I missed my bottle grab because so many people got in the way. So annoying.
Oh, you know what happened on the third lap? A certain somebody attacked on the in the feed zone. Um,
Me?
anyway, yes, you. Um, so you attacked like right before the feed zone, and then you missed your feed. And I saw you miss your feed. I was like, that's some karma right there. I was like, look at the guy. He attacks right before the feed zone. And if you look on Strava, out of all of the groups today, that yesterday, I mean, all the groups that raced. So that's Elite Men, U23, Masters Men, every single category. We had the fastest time through the feed zone because, I mean, because
Was it really a feed
yeah,
time?
there's like a segment that's like from the corner through the feed zone, and then we had the fastest time through that because Luke um decided to attack the feed zone and then missed his feed, and then I smiled when he missed his feed, to be honest, because he it was some instant karma right there. um
I didn't think that classified as attacking in the zone. I don't know. I didn't I like
it was like
I
not
was
actually in the feed zone, but it's like
no,
right
I was just
before it,
like
or as
trying to
soon as it went
attack
up.
like the whole hill. Just to the whole hill. That was my goal.
Okay, but the feed zone, bro, come on, bro. Just
I
wait till after. Anyway, whatever, it's
Oh,
fine.
I know. I thought
It
it was
didn't.
gonna be easier to feed if I was ahead.
Okay, well,
And then there's a bunch of masters just in that one spot because my feed was like the last bit.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't feeding that lap, so I was good. I wasn't too concerned about it, but there were a lot of people swearing at you that I heard. Be like, why is he
Really?
attacking? Why is he attacking in the feed zone? Um, but you know, whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You won anyway, so I don't know. People were a little bit mad at you during that lap, but then they got over it because everyone knows you and no one really dislikes you. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, and then I don't know.
My power wasn't actually that high on just looking at the data of the menu climb. He definitely
Yeah,
is super punchy. So if I'm
super.
looking at it,
But if
it's not like
yeah,
consistently high. Like
yeah,
I dropped below 200 watts a few times in that climb, but
yeah,
I hit 900 a few times. I hit over
yeah.
800 quite a few times,
Because
over 700 quite a lot.
it was so up and down. Like I think that really just like because he had all that constant acceleration and deceleration. So the watts would go, like I was looking at my power, my watts would actually go to 0 and then it would go back up to 800 and it would be
Hmm.
holding at like 600 for, I don't know, maybe like 30, 45 seconds. And then we go back to 0 and just do that over and over again. And that really was like super hard.
Oh my
That
God, it's
third lap,
raining outside. Sorry, it
yeah.
hasn't rained here in so long. Oh my God, that's amazing. Anyway,
Sorry,
yes.
guys. Luke's a bit distracted by the rain. It's been
Dude,
raining here for like an hour or two, so I don't know. I wasn't
really?
that.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Hasn't rained here since I moved here. It's been 2 months ago. Also,
yeah. It
fun
hasn't.
little
It's been pretty
fact.
dry.
Fun little fact on this whole race, my Garmin. You know what? Guess what data I had on my Garmin? I think you saw.
Temperature.
I just had time. I had like the
Oh,
time that
well,
we'd been
okay.
going.
I thought you had
Literally
temperature.
no other
Yeah,
data.
yeah. Evan corresponded on the show. He only rides with temperature when he's doing TTs.
Wow,
He
just
just looks at
something
the
that's
temperature.
irrelevant.
Yeah, something that's completely irrelevant. Like, I mean, I feel like that's like, power. Power's great. I mean, power's great in training. Power's great most of the time, but when you're going full gas, I mean, I find it a bit distracting sometimes. It can limit me a little bit. Like you'll look down and be like, oh, I've never done that power before, and then you'll kind of psych yourself out. For me, that happens. Other people, it's not like that, but personally, if I'm going on a max effort, power can be a
Yeah.
little distracting.
On a TT or something though, I definitely look at it. But like
I look at it
for
like
a
near the start, like the first half, and then not at all. Then I just focus on other things. Like heart rate, I think is a better metric for me in TTs because I kind of know what my max heart rate is. But
hmm, I'm the heart rate's worse for me. Like in a race. Okay, so for example, this whole race was 200. My average was just under 200 watts,
mhm,
which is like a slow training ride for me.
yeah,
Like
but it
like a
felt way
proper
harder because we like,
because of the spikes.
yeah, and we also
However,
on the flat we rode at like 50 watts. It was like actually
yeah,
ridiculous.
that was nuts. We'll get to that in a second. There are big patches of zero. If I'm looking at my data here,
Hmm.
there are such big patches of zero. But anyway, so it's 198, but my average heart rate was like 145, which is really high for me. My normally on like a ride like that, it might be 136 or 138. So it's really high. So that's why I don't look at heart rate either. It's because then if I see the high heart rate, I'm like, oh crap, I'm like dying and I'm done. When really my body is just like anticipating hard efforts and I'm just running at a higher pace.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's very personal what how your mind works and how your body works. So yeah, for me, heart rate I
But
find a little bit more
but
uh
yeah, this was the
useful.
first race I've ridden no power, no heart rate, nothing, just time.
Mhm.
But let's go on to so we've done climb one, climb two, climb three. Climb three just talked about, and I attacked in the feed.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
my bad, my
all
bad,
good, all
guys.
good.
I don't know. I was like, I heard people say don't attack in the feed. Oh, also, sorry, getting a bit distracted here. But on the second climb, when Manu attacked at the top, I was talking to one of the Saskatchewan kids, and he was saying, he's like, dude, I can hear colors,
Yeah,
and I was
no,
like,
it
I was
was
like, ah, interesting. It
it
didn't.
was
I
proper
was.
hard that one.
It didn't. Yeah, I don't know. The climb was hard for me,
Hmm.
but I found really, it wasn't too bad though because no one did anything afterwards. If someone attacked right afterwards, I would have been like hurting a lot, but no one really did anything afterwards, so I felt pretty fine and I like recovered
Yeah.
within like by the time we on the flat section, I was like already covered and I'd usually try attacking again.
Yeah, I
Um
mean on the flat, let's just get to it. The flat we rode
yeah.
super, super chill. There was not big enough teams. The biggest team was probably us, and we had two guys, Manu and myself. We actually had three. We had Nick, but then he dropped off early on. So we really only had two at for the second half of the race. And um yeah, there is no real big teams. I don't I think Anyone else even have two? Not really. So then no one really wanted to take up the pace on the flat. Manu and I definitely did not, because he wanted to save his legs for the final climb and try to put in an attack there, and I wanted to sprint at the end. And yeah, that was the pre-race plan. So we just weren't picking up the pace. Um, and I mean, I was perfectly happy riding like zone one on the flat. I mean,
It really annoyed me. It like really bugged me. And it was like so hard for me not to attack. I was like, every little inch of me was like, I just wanted to attack so much on the flats. But I just
mhm,
knew like any attack I did would just be countered so easily because everyone's going so slow that
yeah.
literally you attack, people catch you because everyone's fresh. They catch you, then nothing happens. And like no one ever, and then nobody wants to counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people, the our group, there weren't really like other than you, there's you, but there other than that, it was either climbers or sprinters. There was not much in between, other than you, of course. So people were either like saving it for the climb or saving it for the sprint. And
Hmm.
not really, no one really wanted to do anything on the rolling part or on the flat. Um,
Yeah.
and like I said, there's no teams. And then I guess that brings us to the last lap, bell lap. On the climb, I don't know how you guys raced it because Remy and I, we kind of like Parker too, but I don't know what happened to him. But Remy and I, we kind of dropped off a bit on the climb because the climb was so surgy that we figured if we just rode like hard but not max up the climb, then we easily catch on the descent and the rolling part because you guys would ride literally at 25k an hour, so we could just like ride more steady, and then that would be better for the sprint, and that's exactly what we did. And yeah, we were at the sprint, and Remy and we didn't use that much energy. There was also a Saskatchewan guy with us, but we um, we didn't use that much energy to catch back at all. We just rode steady, like high zone two, really. After the climb, we rode like zone five, but the rest we just rode like steady high zone two, and we caught pretty quickly back on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really annoying because every time we did the climb, a bunch of people would drop off the back
Mhm.
and then I would be like, oh, like perfect. Now I've gotten rid of all the hardcore sprinters. It's just me and all the climbers. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Like I know I can out sprint all the climbers.
Mhm.
And so I was like, this is perfect. There's just like a bunch of us. And then and then like I look behind, nobody. Like I couldn't see anyone. Like going down the long hill, I looked at the top of the hill, nobody. Um, but then suddenly we'd be riding along and like often we were going slow, so it kind of made sense. But this one lap we weren't. We actually tried a bit. And then I looked I looked behind me and there was Mark. There was Mark and
They're
Remy, and I was
back.
like,
They're
no,
back. The
like
sprinters
the
are back.
sprinters. Why are the sprinters here? I was like,
No, it
oh
was fun.
God.
I think it was actually a really smart tactic just to ride the climb control, let you guys go,
Yeah.
because you guys just like we knew like the last lap we knew you guys we could catch you guys. It wasn't going to be, we didn't even really have to try that hard. I mean, we were tired from mainly from Manu's climb, but I mean we could, it wasn't, I think it was really, I think we used less energy than we otherwise would have if we really tried full gas to stay with you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah. And then so
On the
pre-race. Oh yeah, sorry, go for it. Go for it.
um yeah, on the last climb. So the first three I rode at the front, and then the last one I rode at the back. Which was kind of a sketchy move, but I really wanted my feed. And because you guys always caught on, I was like, I can probably, like, I'm a breakaway person, I'd say. So I was like, I can probably catch even if they did try. But yeah, no one did.
Yeah. Yeah, Manu and I pre-race, the plan was for him to attack, but I don't think his legs were that great. We talked on the flat part. I asked him if he wanted me to go full gas from the feed zone to about halfway, like after the feed zone, because I'm not Luke, but from the feed zone to about halfway up the climb, just go full gas, and then that's my finish line, and then I'm done. And then he would launch an attack. just to like tire everybody out for when he attacked, but he didn't want me to. I don't think he was feeling that great. So we didn't do that. We just said, okay, we'll just go for me in the sprint. And I was like, okay, perfect. Um, yeah, and then yeah, Remy and I caught back in the valley, um, and it was all good.
Mm, yeah, that was really annoying. My favorite though was there was one time we had a break and you weren't there, and we passed where your dad was standing, and your dad had his camera up, and I saw him like, and then he realized you weren't there, and he went,
I know,
and that
I
was
know.
my favorite. I thought that
It's
was
all
so funny,
good.
and then you were there, and I was like, damn it.
No, I was at that point. I was like
But eventually he
maybe
caught on.
I was maybe like 15 meters behind you when that happened because it was. I mean, you're really right. We were like basically there. So he wasn't disappointed for long. Um, yeah, and then we caught on, and then we just rolled to the finish. There was a crash in the last lap. Um, one of the Saskatchewan guys, I think it was actually the guy that Remy and I were rode with. I don't know if he's a sprinter or just was suffering or I don't know, but he um
Yeah,
he
he was eating and
crashed.
he hit a pothole.
Oh, really? I didn't see it. I was closer to the
Me
front of the
neither.
group.
I
I
talked
just
to him after.
oh really? I just
Yeah,
heard
he
it and
wasn't
then
too bad though. He just had a like really bloody knee.
yeah, I mean crashing sucks. I mean, it's fortunately part of the sport, but yeah, yeah, that kind of thing happens. Um,
But
Sorry for the interruption, but I need to let you know that this episode of the Zone 2 podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Born Superior Sports Care. David Miller and Michael Wegner, the go to guys when it comes to all things nutrition. Born is my personal favorite when it comes to all things sport nutrition and sport care. Personally, I'm a big fan of the ISO Pro Plus drink mix. I use it all the time. Some other customer favorites include the Watson Minerals for nutrition and hydration, gels for preventing bonking while racing, no friction cream to keep you comfortable while riding or racing, and Recovery Relax to do exactly that after a long, long day in the saddle. To buy some of Born's fantastic product, please visit bornsportcare.ca for Canadian orders and bornsportcare.com for American orders, and use code ZONE2podcast for 15% off all non-sale items. That's code ZONE2podcast for 15% off all non-sale items. Now, back to the podcast.
yeah, and then we just rolled to the finish, super easy on the flat. I was okay. This is I gotta say something here. I was trying to talk to Manu about how I wanted the lead out done and like how I was feeling, how like asking him how he was feeling, but like I couldn't talk to him because like we were at the front, right? And he was everyone could hear if I started talking. So then I started speaking to him in French. I thought I was like so smart. And yeah, I don't know if anyone understood it. I knew you wouldn't. I don't know who else like speaks French in our group, but I don't know. I felt extremely smart. I was like, okay, if I just speak in French,
just speaking French. I
then
should
we
learn
can
German with my teammates. Bastard, du dich.
okay. Anyway, so
Yeah,
I thought that was a super smart idea.
that is.
I mean, I don't know. And then we got to the sprint, man. He was leading me out. We were at the front. From my perspective, Tom and Luke, um, Tom also he tried a couple of attacks in the last lap because he didn't want it to be a sprint. He just wanted to get away. It was like his last hope. And I think that's what he had to do. But yeah, Tom and Luke came by. Tom looked like he launched super, super early because he had to.
He did. He was my saving grace, to be honest.
Yeah, if he didn't do that, I might have won, but whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, so Tom and Luke come flying by. I slot off Manu's wheel onto Luke. We go through the corner, and then Luke and I both kick at the same time. I'm like matching. I like come. Oops, I got a bit too excited there. Hit my mic. I come like just like halfway up, and then Luke kicks again, and I'm gone. I'm just off. I'm just back. I'm like, what do I even do here? Yeah, I was super like my legs. I don't know. I cramped up a little bit, but like that's just because of fatigue. I mean, I just quite honestly, Luke was just stronger at the end. And then
Yep.
one of this, yeah, you just
Big
were.
ego boosting podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then
I
I
was.
just saw Luke's back wheel for the rest of the the last 100 meters up the climb. It was an uphill sprint too, which usually suits me way more than it would suit Luke, but I just didn't have the legs at the end. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
sprints are so like I was so nerve-wracked about the sprint because they are like sprint like you don't have to be the strongest to win. Like
Mhm.
if you're the strongest and you're in a like shit spot, like you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
It really is a lot about position.
Mhm.
And so I kind of realized Mark was my biggest threat. And so I rode I kind of tried to box Mark in for most of it.
But yeah, I was like kind of like trying to get him out of my way. He would come up next to me. I was like trying to like just riding kind of to the left of Manu because he was like leading me out, and I was like just like not letting it. So even if he pushed in, I could still get into his draft. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he was really trying to box me in, really trying to like steal my lead out a bit, which I mean, you see in any bunch sprint in the world tour, there's always people trying to steal a lead out. Like you saw in on the Champs-Elysees in the tour just this year, Van Aert stole Cavendish's lead out, right? And he ended up winning. So I was like, okay, that's not gonna happen right now. I was like super determined not to let Luke go in, and he didn't, and then he ended up getting tired of being in the win, so he got on, I guess, Tom's wheel.
No, I don't know what I did, but yeah, I realized I was at the front and like I wasn't really going hard to be honest. Like I was
We
doing
weren't going that
maybe
fast
no, we
because
weren't, but I was still like yeah, we were doing about 200 watts, but it was still like I
be in
don't
the
want to
wind,
be
yeah.
doing any extra effort right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly small group, like I don't know, maybe like 10 guys at the finish. So it wasn't it was never going to be that fast of a run in. And I also told Manu that, and because like my sprint is really like explosive, but doesn't last very long. Like I can kick really, really hard, but like I don't hold it for as long as a lot of other sprinters. So I wanted Manu to enter the sprint relatively slow so that if I kicked, it would make the most advantage and I get a gap and then I could just try to hold it and people would start coming, but I could just try to hold it. Um, yeah. So that's why we were kind of going a little on the slow end.
Hmm, makes sense. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm not very, I don't have any experience in sprinting. So I was like, okay, I'll box Mark in. And then I was like, I'm in the wind. I don't want to do that. So I kind of pulled off. And then I was really lucky because Tom shot past really early. I got on Tom's wheel. Tom, he destroyed that first corner. Now that I
Yeah.
think back to it, like that was really sketchy fast.
I mean, it's a
Like I,
sprint. What are you going to do? I mean, that's just,
yeah,
it
but
was
like,
fast though.
and not
We had to
like,
break like on an uphill, not even 90-degree turn, uphill corner, like just a slight bend. We had to like actually break.
yeah, I didn't. But yeah, it was not like sketchy as in like anyone was doing anything wrong, but it was just really fast, and I'm not the strongest corner. And usually I get I don't want to no, I'm not going to reveal myself that much, but usually like I don't go that fast through corners. But I was so focused on winning and wanted it so bad that I took this corner twice as fast as I would any other day, and I like had the bike over so much, and like now when I think back to it, I'm like that was so scary, but I was so focused. All I could see was Tom's wheel, and that's all I could see. And then we came around, and I didn't look at anyone. I didn't look at anything. I just looked down and put as much effort in as I could. And then about 3 meters before the line, I kind of looked behind me and realized, and yeah, and then there's a great video of me going ah! As I came across the line.
Yeah, Luke was pretty hype. I just saw his back. I was like suffering. I look up and I see Luke just screaming. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, this guy. It's like, man, I just lost. So I was like, that moment I was quite upset. And then I got off the line. I was like quite upset with myself because like, I don't know. I wanted to win a lot too, obviously. And I was just like, I don't know, pretty disappointed in the moment. But then I saw Luke buy it, he got happy, and I saw Luke all happy, and it made me kind of happy too. I was like, "Oh, good for you, man! I'm
Aw.
proud of you, bro."
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
all. And then we had the podium. Um, Yeah, Luke
Yeah.
won. Got
Podium.
that jersey he's wearing
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
why I'm wearing it, by the way, guys. Not to be awkward, but that's why I'm wearing it. The new kit.
Provincial champion. We got medals. Where's my
No
here, my
offense to
medals here.
Cycling BC, but I'm upset because these don't match the ones from Provincials 2019. So it's like they don't match, which I find annoying. Because I always wanted like a golden one that was mine, but now we have a black
Yeah,
one,
they're
which is cool.
black.
But like,
But like, yeah. I got
like
just
I got it anyway. I have the jersey. That's what I wanted.
the jersey is really all that matters. Yeah, and I guess that's about it, really.
Oh, I must add though, the race started for me in heartbreak because I own these 100% glasses, which are like my prized possession. Like first job or whatever I had, I saved up for these super expensive sunglasses, got them. I've worn them every day since for 2 years, and then they came off my head on the recon ride. I had them in my helmet. I looked back, the wind knocked them off like as I was doing warm up. I stop, go back to get them. Car comes around the corner, drives over them. They shatter right in front of my face. It's the most upsetting thing in the world. So yeah, so that I almost cried. Like I was so upset. I don't have any money to like afford to get new ones. So any glasses company, please sponsor me. I need them.
While you're at it, just sponsor the podcast because I
That's
wouldn't
true.
mind some either.
That's true. I was like, hey, maybe my parents will get me new glasses as like a good job for winning. But no, they got me some $30 ones. So I'm gonna be bowling like this for a while now.
Well, it's okay. Next week is track anyway, so you don't even need to wear them.
That's true. That's true. And that brings us to track. Yeah. Next week it's track. It's our track provincials. We'll do analysis of that as well. And what happens. I'm gonna try and wear a GoPro maybe. Oh, also I made a video of the race, of my weekend. I didn't record in the race, but I have some footage of how I got there and stuff. So I'll see about maybe posting that on our YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all.
some good little clips here. We'll post some podium pictures and stuff on our social media too. So in case you want to see how cool we look, first and second in the province. If you guys want
Yeah,
podium provincials, I don't know what you got
don't
to do, but just don't because we want to. I
don't
want to
because we
win
will.
next year too. So don't. Never
Yeah,
mind.
exactly.
Forget about it. Luke
Um,
doesn't have a next year, so I got
that's
still
true
got next
actually,
year. I
dude.
got to keep it in the podcast family.
Next year you can win them all except provincials. You'll have Manu. Is Manu? What age is Manu?
Yeah, Manu's my age. Also Campbell. We should say Campbell technically yeah, Campbell's same year as me, but he's
Campbell was the favorite to win today. I was very relieved when he wasn't
yeah,
there.
Campbell was the favorite to win today, but he is in Milton getting ready for track worlds. So he's not didn't race today. And won't race next weekend either. So that makes I think it was pretty clear Luke was the pre-race favorite once Campbell wasn't there. But
Oh, thank you.
from my
Is
perspective anyway.
Is Campbell a climber at all? Like, would he be able to do those climbs as well?
Yeah, no, yeah. Campbell is not a pure climber, but he's very good
He's
at
just very
climbing.
strong.
Yeah, he just does a lot of watts,
Oh, also, before we go, one thing that amused me a lot is at the start of the race, everyone was quite chatty and like people were talking to each other quite a bit because it was going really slow. But on like the second to last lap, when it was going the same pace, I said something to Mark, which normally would have got quite a reaction out of him.
I just didn't answer.
And he just went, yeah,
Yeah,
or
no,
something like that.
I remember that.
And I was like,
I don't even think I said anything. I think because you were started
no, you
talking to
just
me.
kind of, yeah, you didn't. And then you went, I like one of the things, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah. I should have just answered to make it look like I wasn't suffering, but I was pretty tired. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid. Any other comments, Mark?
No, I don't think so. I think we got it. I don't know. For me, I just want to say thank you to Devo helping me this weekend. So Manu, thanks for the lead up. Everyone else for the team, Steph for the feed. Who else was there? I don't know. What everyone in Devo for making it a fun time. Luke, congratulations.
Thank you.
Everyone else who raced, good job. Oh, we should say the other category winners. I mean, we should just give them a bit of a shout out. What else? Who won? Oh, friend of the show, I guess. I don't know. But Sam Morris won the elite men's race.
Good
Which
job,
I mean,
Sam.
yep, good job to Sam. Who else won? Isla won the junior girls.
Holly won the elite women, so congratulations to Holly. Oh, she actually listened to 2 of the podcasts. She was talking to me about it, so hopefully
Great.
she listens to this one. Hi,
Yeah.
Holly.
Hi, Holly. Anyway, good job, everybody. And any of the winners, I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I just like a lot of the masters, all the masters winners. I don't know what other categories there are. The Cat 3, Cat 4 stuff. Yeah, good job to everyone who won. Everyone was on the podium. Everyone who even started. Yeah, good job, everybody. Okay, I
That
think
was
that
a really
brings
fun
us
race.
brings us to the end of the podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. Go to
Thank you.
Born Sport Care. Use the code Zone2 Podcast. And we'll see you next week for our track provincials recap. See ya.
Yeah, thanks, guys.